Coming to you from the heart of the Great White North. Welcome to the Canadian Prepper Podcast. Immerse yourself in the world of preparedness with insights from seasoned experts and a touch of Canadian practicality. Your go-to source for all things survival, resilience, and self-reliance. Now, let's kick off another episode packed with knowledge and strategies to ensure you're ready for whatever life may throw your way. Stay tuned and let the journey to preparedness begin.
Welcome to episode number 231 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast. We are recording on, you know what, it's not February 18th in the show notes here. It's February 25th, 2024. My name's Eric, host of the show, based in Southern Ontario, hunter, target shooter, ham radio operator, and of course, computer geek. As a first responder, witnessed an over-reliance on emergency services during major events, started a small preparedness company to help people get better prepared for at least 72 hours, if not longer. And Brad.
Yep, there we go. Sorry, mute button was still there. I'm Brad.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah, I'm in Eastern Ontario, part-time amateur prepper, continually trying to better myself and improve.
My name is Pierre. I'm a tactical beard owner, t-shirt kind of making guy, government critique, and the reason we hit the explicit button.
57 seconds in.
Going for a new record. Going for a new record.
Say that.
He's a star. He's a star.
Yeah.
I'm Terry. I live in sunny central Ontario. I'm a starving indie author, a terrible hunter, and a pathetic fisherman. I'm here for all the good advice I can get. And I won't afford.
Okay. Well, we can start there.
Oh, that's just nuts. Just not even. The pre-show chat got a little spicy about Fords.
I can't believe it. Some people have no taste.
I'd say you won't afford.
Those are the ones that buy Fords, yep.
Oh, boy. It's going to be a good one. Oh. If anybody out there that's still listening wants to help support the show, or you can buy some swag. We have both the Canadian Prepper Podcast t-shirt and the tactical Velcro patch at www.prepperpodcast.ca. All the proceeds help to cover our podcast costs, and sometimes we shoot Terry some money for his Ford.
If you're enjoying the show, take a few minutes, submit a review. Wherever you find us, we want your feedback, even if it's bad or why you think Fords are better. We also invite you to reach out to us and tell us something you learned this week. So email us at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
All right, so we've got some frugal content for you in this episode, and we're not talking about frugal gunny. We're going to start off with some relevant news. We'll update you on our personal preps. Then we're going to get into the main topic, prepping on a budget. And just a side note, this was voted on by the Patreons. This is a topic they wanted us to cover, so we figured why not?
Here we go.
Into the news. So, if you've been living under a rock, you haven't heard about this, but AT&T had a little bit of a oopsie a couple days ago, and their cell phone network went down. And if you think that sounds familiar, about a year and change ago, we had that happen with Rogers here in Canada. Let your tinfoil hats do the rest of the talking on that one. But it's just an interesting thing that happened. It's the similar messaging as to what came out about the Rogers outage, where they're saying just a glitch happened, something, somebody did something wrong in some of the equipment, and everything went down. Again,
doing
spells out an upgrade.
Right?
Yeah. So, if you want to tighten your tinfoil hat on that one, go for it. We'll never really know exactly what happened or why. It is what it is. But it also shows the ever-growing over-reliance on the cell phone network and having those little tracking devices in your pocket all the time. Everybody freaks out. Says, now what? What do we do? I don't know. Carry on with life? But it just goes to show that everybody's so glued to these things, and it's such a big deal when the whole system goes down. It's almost like a reason to be, I don't know, prepared for things like this.
Yeah, like how are you going to pay for your...
I was looking at my Instagram.
Oh, was it on your phone?
Yeah.
But how are you going to pay for your $6 Starbucks without your phone working, right? To tap your phone to pay for everything.
Yeah,
this is true. Yeah, what was I thinking? Of course, it's a big deal.
Fucking Ford owners.
One of them
It
probably
has-
hit one of the
it has-
towers and took it down. That's what caused it, right?
It has to have something to do with a Ford. Sure as heck. Same with the next item. Like evidently we have another unidentified balloon floating over Marca somewhere.
Yep.
Who knew?
Yep, those are back. Right
Yeah.
around the time AT&T goes down.
Yeah, hard to say if they're
Interesting.
related or not, but yeah, it's up there, and
I need more
Yeah.
tinfoil.
it's happening once again. Happening once again, and our dear friends at the RCMP have been hit by a cyber attack. Now we did a show on this just a few weeks ago.
We did. Not particularly on attacking the RCMP.
No, not on
But
that.
on cybersecurity as a whole. Yeah.
Cybersecurity.
Okay, because I didn't think we were going to tell them it was us.
No, it wasn't.
Somebody-
We were going to say that live.
Somebody at the RCMP didn't watch our video.
Oh
Obviously,
boy.
they did
Oh,
not.
cat's out of the bag. Yep.
They did not. So yeah. That's all the
Yep.
good
So
news.
AT&T and RCMP, well, cat's out of the bag now. That was us. Yep. Oops.
Yeah, because I can't figure out how to get out of bed half the time, but sure, I can figure that out.
Right.
So I got one. This one's more related to, well, specifically this one came out from Ottawa Police putting things out saying warning about HVAC scams and targeting seniors and all that stuff, which, all joking aside, it's a thing that happens all the time. I'm sure most people that listen to this, even newer people listening to this, are aware of that. But maybe check in with I won't say your less intelligent friends, but maybe more so family members where, it could affect you, whether it be your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, you're the redheaded stepchild, one of the peoples that you kind of care about, make sure it's a thing that they're aware of, that these things are still going on, even though they think everything's good because they've got a website or they've got a Google review. It's still a thing that, be wary of. Money getting stolen because you'll never get it back. And now you're just a statistic. So.
It's true. Very true. We've got Dave in the live chat asking why Ian is missing. All I have to say about that, AT&T, RCMP. Ian's not here. You've identified the fall guy.
Yep. Worked out.
There we go. Well, with that, let's move into what we've done lately for preps. Start with Brad.
Lots of work. Constant. Just go. Haven't had time for much else. Sucks.
Such is life. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, bit the bullet, sank a bunch of money into the truck. And no, I don't drive a Ford. I drive a Chevy. So
Because that'd be a weekly thing.
It is what it is.
But anyway,
Yeah, so a bunch of work, but it is kind of our main get out of Dodge vehicle. If something were to happen where we had to leave where we are, that'd be our primary vehicle to take. So it was time to fix it up. It is about 12 years old now, so it needed a little bit of TLC. Now it's all back in the running order again. So that's good. Got out, tested the portable ham setup at the park. I know that's strange for me, but put 220 contacts in the logbook in about 2 hours. So that was fun. Updates to my amplifier. So at the main radio setup here at the house, we've got a Heathkit SB220 amplifier. So it's from the 1960s, if I remember correctly. It's dated. It needed a little bit of TLC as well, but it's built like a tank. It was just, I figured I would do some upgrades to it now before it needed to be fixed later. So did the high voltage board, rectifier metering board, and then there's a cooling fan in there as well that I updated. But the fun part about that is I was able to use the help of some local ham operators to show me how to actually do that, because wasn't overly comfortable with working with high voltage. So I went down to one of the ham operators' houses that is comfortable with doing it and walked me through how to do it safely, how to do all the modifications and install them without biting the electricity or having it bite me. And if you stick your hands in the wrong place in these things, it can kill you. So it's nice to have that knowledge now on how to actually work on it myself. So it's kind of neat to get that knowledge, and now I can open it up and work on it myself if I need to.
Nice.
Terry.
well, I've been updating my vehicle preps. I put a couple more hammers on the Ford.
Makes sense.
I'm trying to organize some stuff and put a few more goodies in there. And I'm continually adding to the food stores. Seems to be a hobby of mine.
To the food storage or food storage?
Food storage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. My food stores.
Good.
Yeah. That's good.
Very nice.
So for me, started getting some of the gun bench set up. So I had to do some MacGyvering. Thankfully, someone told me how to figure out how to cut a piece of wood to make it sit inside a hole so that I kind of have a shelf or two. So got that almost done. Apparently, I still have a bin of the gun bench stuff because there's some stuff missing that I'm used to. So hopefully get to that real soon. Did a little bit of food prep and food experiments, I guess you could say. I like the junk food from the stores, but figuring out if I can make the junk food at home cheaper. So tried a few things like that, worked out real good. And then thanks to Mel, we had to be nice to people that live around here today. When people were on hard times, I guess, trying to find work. And we got low on food, this, that. And we have some food that we had stored aside as, always being prepared. And I was like, you know what, we could probably part with these things. So she donated a bunch of stuff and made us look good. So now we probably have friends, which sucks, but it's a thing.
Yes, having friends is terrible.
Yeah, have you met most people?
I have.
Yeah.
I also do not like to people.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's about it. Getting some renos and all that stuff done, but slowly getting there.
Awesome. All right, with that, let's move into the main topic, shall we? And this evening, like we said, we're talking about prepping on a budget. So this was a topic. We put a list of topics up in the Patreon for Patreon members to vote on. And it was a split between this and mutual assistance groups. So we went with this one for now, and we'll move over to mutual assistance groups down the road when we're able to find someone that wants to come and talk about it. But so we figured we'd talk about this one now, and we just about using the budget the best you can. Times are interesting right now with the whole inflation thing and the wonderful fallout from fun-filled COVID or whatever you want to call it. So money's tight. It's it's even more trickier now to do the whole prepper thing, while also still maintaining regular life and all that other kind of fun stuff that you got to do. So I figured this would be a good topic to get into and help you kind of make some decisions about your preparedness and make that dollar stretch as far as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Don't buy a Ford.
or the way I'm looking at it right now is Chev either, because that bill hurt. Oof.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. So learn how to walk.
Step one. Yep. We'll start out with you, Brad. I see you got some stuff here.
Yeah. So in going back a little bit, in '98 was my big push into the realm of preparedness, and it took me years to figure out what to do to be prepared and what to prepare for. I'd always been on the lookout for new ways, and like everybody here, I think would agree, at times it's not that cheap. Recently, we've all come to realize that a lot of the food prices are on the dramatic rise, along with everything else. I was in a dollar store recently. While I wasn't there for food, I did start looking at all the food stuff they do sell there. You could probably get a fair amount of stuff cheaply. Let's say for under $100, you could probably buy quite a lot of stuff, food-wise, anyways, that would keep you pretty prepared.
It's true. I always kind of overlooked the dollar store, thinking, a bunch of cheap, gimmicky kind of things. I never even considered for the longest time that they do carry things like canned food and that sort of stuff. And you're 100% right. You can totally go in there and grab a few things to throw on the shelf to pack away for if times get tough, because it's not overly expensive.
I started going up and down the aisles. Mm-hmm. Soup, pasta, water, rice, crackers, KDs, sidekick dishes, ramen noodles, bread, spices, gravy mixes, just to name a few of those things that, like, that's all stuff that, like, even just the spices and some salt and pepper and gravy mixes, bouillon cubes.
Yeah.
That stuff will never really go bad. Stick that into a bin, a little shoebox bin somewhere. You have it. It all comes to an end. The EMP happens. Zombies start attacking. Financial collapse. All of that. You've made food better to eat, more enjoyable to eat than just bland stuff.
Just
Right?
throw it
Or
in the
even now you
U-Haul.
got something to barter, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want it, go to the dollar store and buy, 5 things of canned ham, a couple things of rice, some sidekicks, a couple boxes of KD. Even if you don't like it, somebody else might, and you can get something in return.
Yeah.
Or like Pierre, you did today. You can help somebody else out in their time of need, and it didn't cost you very much.
Yeah, except for like interactions with people, which comes at a high cost.
Okay, fine. But still.
Yeah. Right. 100%. Like, I've been a giant dollar store supporter for years. And it's that you can buy canned carrots, peas,
Yes.
corn. You can buy all the vegetables that you normally buy at any grocery store. You can get 4 cans for the price of what you pay at the dollar or at any other store. I'm like, it's carrots in a can. Like, it doesn't take much. If you want to stretch your dollar, right?
Yeah.
You've got a strict budget of $100 to buy canned even soups. Like, they've got chunky soup there. That's a little bit cheaper than everything. Like, they've got the chunky steak and potato ones, the clam chowder, like the name brand stuff, just as much as the cheap stuff. And I'm like, if you've got like a strict budget or you want to start prepping where you're like, okay, I normally spend $100. How can I do this and get an extra, 6 cans that I can put aside?
Yeah.
Dollar store is not a bad idea. You may not get, the creme of the, the best thing ever, but you can at least get started with it. 100%.
And everything there still has to pass Canadian Food Inspection guidelines and regulations. So everything at the dollar store, to the Metro, to the Walmart, to the Costco, to the Sobeys, all have to pass those same guidelines to get into this country, to be on a store shelf to sell.
Right. Like, they didn't can it in the back of the Dollarama.
No,
it came on a skid. Like, it's canned everywhere where it's legal to sell. And I mean, I've been a giant supporter because they're one of the only ones for poor man's pasta sauce.
Yes.
But and then we've seen that grow where I'm just like, we've walked in there and spent $100 on canned stuff. When the time came where I'm like, hey, we can, we've got the extra funds. Yeah, that's the place to go because I come home with 120 cans instead of 50 cans.
Yeah.
Here's the $1 million question.
Yep.
Do they have buffalo maple?
No, but they do have Frank's, and due to having Frank's, you can now make your own buffalo sauce. I'll tell you the recipe.
Okay, perfect, excellent.
And they have syrup technically, so I'm like,
okay, so you could mix the two. Maybe okay.
Yeah, they're only missing one of the ingredients, and it's not a complicated one. I'll tell you after though. But
perfect. And we don't want to give away the secrets live. That'd be terrible. Yeah.
All of that stuff, as well as the chips, the pops, the chocolate bars, all the junk food, bars. All of those are still there as well. Like Eric said, you go in to buy the cheap gimmicky stuff, whatnot, but you can also travel down different aisles and you get candles, flashlights, batteries, cookware, utensils, water bottles, cleaning supplies, and of course, can openers.
I was wondering when you were going to get there.
Many kinds of can openers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And to go on to leave the dollar store now. There's just being frugal and on a budget, whatnot. I've come across a bunch of different videos where the YouTuber has done. They call it dollar store camping on a fixed budget. They give you $50 or $100. You walk into the dollar store. You have to walk in with the $100 and walk out with everything you need to go camping for a minimum of 2 nights. That's your tent, your cooking, your shelter, your everything. $100. That's all you get, as the example is $100. And they come out with some pretty nifty ideas, and pretty. You're looking at it like they come out with a lot of stuff. The one guy left his campsite still had 2 big bags full of stuff that he took home.
Oh, 100%. Like
Oh, but
you won't buy a tent and you won't buy a sleeping bag, or, I mean, depending, you might be lucky to get an air mattress, but like you can get everything to build yourself a shelter.
Yeah.
And everything to consume and stay warm.
Yeah.
You can buy underwears there. Like
socks, long johns, t-shirts, toques, caps, sunglasses, a
Tarps.
tent, a tarp,
yeah,
a rope,
tarps.
Yeah.
tent pegs, a hammer, matches, all of those things to keep you fed, warm, and sheltered, and hydrated for a weekend, all at the dollar store. Now, I haven't seen anything yet break a $10, like the $10 mark at the dollar store.
I haven't seen anything break 5 yet, but
Well,
I mean,
I was thinking of
it's
it
still
earlier,
early
like-
in 2024.
Exactly, right? They're going to raise it up, so now it's going to go
Yeah, of
higher
course.
than that. But still, like if you had fresh fruit, vegetables, meat, eggs, and milk, you wouldn't have to go anywhere else. You could buy all your groceries at the dollar store.
100%. Including your bread at a very decent price.
Yes.
And it's name brand bread. It's not no name bread. Like you can buy
Yeah.
Wonder Bread there for like 80 cents cheaper than every other store.
Yeah.
You're gonna
That
throw it
adds
in-
up.
Like
Yeah. I
find
mean,
me Pierre and I know this for sure, that find me a better deal on Pepsi.
yeah.
A 1 liter
Yeah,
bottle of Pepsi is like 82 cents or something
No,
like that.
it's
You can
$1.
go in and buy it by the case for $16 for 15 bottles of 1 liter Pepsi.
Find me a can cheaper anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, they're not to be messed with.
Right. My suggestion to others here is pick up a few items at a time. Start with a notebook, a pen, and a highlighter. Write down everything you think you need and mark it off as you get them. And then make another list. That is all your current inventory in your house. Everything. While
That's-
purchasing from the dollar store might be budget friendly, you do get what you paid for. So just keep that in mind. And my last thing on being budget friendly and whatnot is I came across this article years ago from a Bosnian reporter who lived through, it's called 1 Year in Hell.
Yeah, I remember that article you sent.
Yes. It's 100 things that disappear first in a disaster. And it's quite comprehensive. And the one that I printed out was the actual full article. It's about 5 or 6 pages long. And he puts in good reasons as to why you should stock up on those things. And I printed out 2 or 3 copies, and I stashed some in a couple of different places. And I think it's really good. I think everybody should read it as an eye-opening kind of slap in the back of the head. Like, yeah, you should go and buy a few more of these things. It may seem innocuous now, but it'll come in handy later.
Give it some time.
That's true.
Join the Patreon, and we can send you a copy for the low price of $6.99. Right? Like, no, but I mean, like that would be a thing. If you still have the news article, you can scan those in. Like, we might be able to put those on the Discord, whether it be a show note later on. Like,
Totally can.
something.
We can push it up the Patreon. We can push it up the Discord. No problem. That's easy.
Yeah.
You do have a good point there, Brad, just about while you're making your purchases and having a list. That's one thing you'll find in the whole preparedness world is there's so many rabbit holes, and you'll start looking to purchase things and you'll go, oh, well, I'm getting this. I should cover this, and I should cover that, and I should cover this. And before you know it, you've covered those 3 things 7 different times, and you've bought a bunch of stuff you don't necessarily need. So organization is key to staying on that budget and not over purchasing, which a lot of us just like to do, right? You want to have a whole pile of everything for that one scenario, but keeping track and saying, okay, I've got this covered now. I've got this covered now. And then you have some form of organization, and you're not just at the store making those impulse purchases of, do I need it? I'm not sure. Maybe buy it, right? Just help spread that money a little bit more and cover more areas if you stay organized and you have that list and you know what you're going in for, and then you come out with, who am I kidding? You're going to grab a couple little extra things, but you're not going to go as crazy because you know what you're looking for.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would agree with that.
So,
Pierre.
I guess we're on me. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, most of what I'm recommending has been covered by Brad. I'm sure will be covered by the following people. But I said one of the first things to figure out when you want to start for preps is that what's your most important prep? Like for a realistic scenario that you're planning for, where do you live? What's most likely to happen? Where you plan on storing these preps? Is it going to be in your shed outside, which is, elements? Gets crazy hot in the summer, crazy cold in the winter. Is it going to be in your, crawl space or basement where damp, cold may affect whatever? So I'm like, you kind of need to figure that out, and then you can figure out what you can store. Right.
Yep.
What are you looking to prep better for? Is it going to be water, food, shelter, zombie invasion? Just, Trudeau getting in for another 4 years? What's your scenario?
Oh, please no.
Yeah.
Wake up here. Wake up. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, please. So then it's looking for deals on what you're looking to prep. Dollarama has rice.
Right.
Next to nothing. Canned food, meats, reasonable price. If in a family or social significant other as well as minions, you need to involve them in the preps and you need to plan. If you have minions that you need to take care of, you can have food, a bunch of food, but you need to take into consideration that you need to entertain those minions or keep them safe or, keep growing their education. Say something happens for 2 years, your kid doesn't go to school. You're worried about figuring out how your off-grid, $6,000 barbecue works, and it takes you 2 weeks, and you haven't talked to your kid. You need to take that into consideration. So, planning or my daughter, we always got certain things that she likes to do. What we just say, no more TV, no technology in the house, but also getting them to be involved in the preps. Knowing how to cook some of those preps, how to use some of those preps, and where those preps are. There may be a scenario where you're on your way home when something happens, and you can, because we're not on AT&T, thankfully, you can communicate with them, saying something, something's going on. Make sure the door is locked. Go get that bin. Go get your bag. Go get these certain items that we've placed specifically somewhere. Making sure everybody that you plan on having immediate interactions with understand where those things are. And then it's all fine and dandy to have, whether it be $200 worth of supplies or $1,000 worth of supplies. At some point, you're probably going to want to test them way prior to before you need them.
Hold on.
I know.
First time I heard this.
231 episodes, and we're just mentioning this now?
All I'm going to say is I also don't drive a Ford.
My feelings are hurt here. Just saying.
I'm okay with it.
I'll get you the hurt feelings report there, Terry. You can file it with me later.
Yes, yes. Get that to me
You
right
let me know.
away.
Yeah.
So, plan for, those preps, whether you figured out how to cook without having electricity or your natural gas, or you ran out of propane because propane prices have gotten crazy and you can't afford to fill up your propane at your house. What are your alternatives? Plan a weekend, even just plan a meal. Can you cook a supper when everything else is available? That if you royally burnt everything, we're eating at 7 instead of 6 because you were able to do something. Try and do that. If you can, try and plan it out for more than a day. Maybe a weekend. Like, hey, we're not doing anything. Nobody's coming over. You might not need to flick the breaker, but just be like, look, we don't have TV. We don't have internet. We're going to do board games, cards, and figure out how to cook outside, or a Bunsen burner, or those I don't remember what they're called, but the little things.
Little rocket stoves.
Can heat.
Well, yeah, the canned stuff. Sterno. Whether it be the jet boil, right? Because those things can go, but the Sterno, all that stuff. So plan the little things. When something happens, I don't mind a good Reese's peanut butter cup from time to time. So keeping certain things like that, especially with the minions, say they like Pringles, keeping a the junk food and those things around can kind of reground you for what it is in the scenario happening. And one of the best things on a budget is you're obviously looking to be as efficient as possible with your money, but I guarantee you every single one of us has been there where we tried to save $20 and it cost us $100 later on down the road. So if you're looking to, maybe not dollar store value, like, picking up a can of carrots, like carrots are going to taste like carrots. But, preps that would be outside of the venue of, they sell it at $100 at Canadian Tire, but it's only $40 on Amazon. Then you realize the Amazon one's complete garbage, and now you're out $140 because you went back to Canadian Tire. Right. So taking the time to, read reviews, watch more than one YouTube review on it, preferably one that's not sponsored by the person that's reviewing something, because you're going to get a little bit of bias, but I'm sure you can find someone that's just out there trying to spread knowledge just as much as we do this on Sunday nights, well, at least for me, for free. I don't know about the others, but someone not being paid, but just someone trying to spread the knowledge they have to help save someone of wasting more money later on. That's a big thing I find. Reading reviews, doing your research, taking the time while everything is good. We're not on AT&T, so you've got internet. Following up on all those things and realizing that, hey, I want to try and save $40, but that $40 is gonna, nip me in the butt later. That figure out, save a little bit more when you get that adequate funds to get, the certain thing that is way better off than saving $40 will definitely help you a lot more. So I think I probably should have said that first, because I think that's more valuable than having a bunch of cans in the basement.
Well, some good points. Yeah, and the idea of looking for deals that you'd mentioned there, that's huge. A lot of us just want to jump into the whole preparedness world and go, I'm looking after this, and this problem today. I'm going to buy this, and this. I'm not going to shop around. I'm not going to look for the deals. I just want to cover this and just have that feeling of I'm good. But this is more of, the preparedness world isn't just a buy a whole bunch of stuff and now you're good, right? Yeah. So slowly working a couple of material things into your preparedness plans. Absolutely. Looking for the deals, looking for that research and seeing what is good for certain things. And like you said, it's somebody else has used and can verify without any kind of bias that it's going to work is great information to have. And it could take a considerable period of time to do that research. Yeah. But taking that time and slowing down and not rushing into things is going to help you huge with just not going out and doing that panic purchase. We got a good comment in the live chat here that you can't buy knowledge. You're not spending any money to buy the knowledge, right? I guess you could, in theory, you can say you went to college, university, and you're buying. Well, I guess you're buying a paper to put on the wall. It's not necessarily knowledge. So
I'm also not saying that for a certain nominal fee, I'll talk to you for 3 hours and give you some knowledge, right? Like, just saying that's out there, but you can have a lot of access to a lot of knowledge nowadays compared to 20, 30 years ago. True. For absolutely nothing, except for listening to a few ads, right? In between the shows, or depending how long it is, relating to YouTube, they've got ads on everything, but you can get information for $0 nowadays. You can figure out how to rebuild a car from absolute scratch, figure out how to take it apart, sandblast it, prep it for paint, put it all together, put, which parts to buy, and build it into a roadster, all on YouTube without spending $1 as long as you got internet access.
YouTube
University. So let's spin this around to, you don't have YouTube access. There is no internet. You could still barter and trade what you know for somebody else's knowledge, right? So if I know something, one of the guys in my group knows something else, we can totally swap that information with each other without having to, spend a dime. All it costs is a little bit of your time and just knowledge share. Another way of learning a skill, learning something that can help you out if you hit that shit hits a fan moment, whatever that may be that you're getting ready for, hasn't cost you a dime, right? So now you can throw that money back into your pile of cash for whatever it is that you're looking to spend it on, and then throw it in your budget, put it on your list, and away you go.
So here's
Even learning to fix things, right? And
Here's a
instead of
question.
just we live in a society now that just throws things out and buys new again. Learn how to fix things. Take the time. It's going to cost you a few bucks in parts, right? But the question, Brad?
No different.
How much does a library membership cost?
Good point. Well, I guess you're paying for it in your taxes, but
Minuscule,
so
usually.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, that you pay your taxes on everything. You're taxed sometimes 3 times on stuff,
Yeah.
right? But so you
This
paid
is true.
for you paid for a library membership in that way, but go and get one.
That's a great point.
Spend an afternoon at the library and look at like you said, Pierre, like all of these people on YouTube had to learn somewhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to go to the library. If you've got your phone or a tablet or your laptop and it's got Wi-Fi, every library offers free Wi-Fi. You can get the password. It's not the best connection, but you're not going to do your banking and stock trades at the library. You're going to watch YouTube
Probably a bad idea, yep.
University,
Yeah.
and you're going to look at the book, see it right there in front of you. Take it out,
Or
take it home, copy some stuff out, like write it out in person, get some photocopies, print some stuff off, all on the library's computers. Go home with that notebook I said earlier, full of information for you. Go there. Hey, yeah, Melissa's got a great option there. Take photos with your phone. Go home and upload them to whatever device and print them out later. Perfect idea, Mel.
Yep.
And I mean,
good. Yeah, library's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't want to use your own hydro and your own internet because you pay for certain bandwidth, I think every library has internet that you can use for free. So you can go there and do your research, and even if it's a 1 hour video, but it took you an hour to find it, you can use that hour on their time, write down the video, who to look for, and you can go home and research it and do whatever. So I mean, yeah, you can even take some of that guesswork out by doing that.
And the fun part with the library too is they will let you take the books home for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if you've got a good printer at home or whatever, you can photocopy the certain pages you need or the information you want out of those books and do some more research. And now when shit hits the fan, you can look like you're going to school with a backpack.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all kinds of little different places you can, obtain information for free or grab information. Like the library is a fantastic point. Talking to people in your group again before you're into that whole shit hits the fan scenario. I know, Pierre, you don't like the people. Most of us don't, but all of us have a small little core group of people that we will people with.
I tried people's. Do not recommend. 0 stars.
Fair enough. 0 stars. 0 out of 5 stars. Got it. But there's just all kinds of little places that people don't think about where you can save some bucks through bartering. Through, like, the library is a fantastic example. Just even there's like little things in your community you can look at for little education places you can go to learn things. Little seminars that are going on. That's the word I was looking for. That may cost next to nothing to attend for an evening. Just check out and get to learn what's going on in your community or even in a neighboring community and go and attend a couple of events and gain knowledge that way. Yes, Pierre, you have to people to do that, but you could just sit in the back corner and be the antisocial guy and nobody will talk to you.
I send Mel, I get her to record it, and then I watch it when she gets
there you go. There you go. You know what? That's just
get you someone that wants the people.
Yeah.
Best prep ever.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Get creative with what you're looking for, and it doesn't always have to cost an arm and a leg, right? There's always ways to find things cheaper if you just take a little bit of time and slow down. I think that's the biggest thing, especially people newly getting into the preparedness world. They just want to rush in and just buy everything right away. As a business owner who runs an emergency survival little business, when you rush in, you want to buy everything. I'm like, okay, this is good for business, but at the same time, it's not good for your pocketbook, right? So slow her down, make some educated choices on things you're looking to buy, right? And that's probably the best advice I've got is just shop around and take your time and slow down. A lot of people just blow their budget right away. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The whole shit, the fan thing could happen an hour from now, 2 hours from now, 3 days from now. We don't know, but slow her down.
It
Relax.
could happen tomorrow, but the odds of you being able to get everything between now and tomorrow and being efficient enough to be useful with everything you purchase are probably slim to none.
Takes years to build it up.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, how long have most people on this panel, if not all people on this panel, being prepping for? And I guarantee you, we can throw a wrench in something, and every single one of us would fail in many scenarios, right?
Yep.
So you want to work at being a jack of all trades, master of none. You want to try and get your finger in all the holes and figure out how to get them all to work for you, at least to be able to, fend for yourself and your family. But you don't need to figure out how to run the whole plant and figure out how to slaughter chickens for 9,000 people. But being able to feed yourself, whether it be your garden or anything, just figure out how to do it at least efficiently where you're okay and your dependents are okay and the people you plan on taking care of. And if you want to talk to people's, get someone else to figure, a part of a certain scenario where it's like, hey, we got to grow a garden, but we also have to, the chickens lay eggs, but now the chickens are at the age where we're going to eat the chickens. Well, the gardener might not want to take care of that. And I don't want a garden. So if you can trade off some of those scenarios, just like we've said many times, where that stupid community of peoples,
Speaking garden though, that's another good point, right? That's something that doesn't cost a whole lot that you can invest in now, is just grabbing some seeds, right? You can store them in the freezer
at the dollar store for next to nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that
go buy it.
could help you huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
They sell tomato kits. Pretty much every vegetable you can think of. You've got a little spot, you're not unsure, and you don't know which seeds to grab, and you don't want to buy the wrong ones, but everywhere else they want $6 for a bag of seeds, and you can buy one there for 50 cents. I don't know, throw them in, see if you've got a green thumb. If not, figure out how to get a green thumb, whether it's with the Sharpie or, something, right? But, stock up on seeds, but if you can't grow anything, you can have them as barter, but at this point, prepping on a budget, I'm not thinking many barter tools compared to how can I survive for a weekend, a week, ice storm in 98 scenario where, families were left with a week or so without electricity, heat, nothing. That's what I'm thinking.
17 days, no power.
Exactly, right?
That's
so
crazy.
you can have everything to trade, but I mean, if your neighbor is, just like, I don't need your seeds. It's January. What good are you?
That's a good point.
Right? Like, depending on the time of year, some of those preps you may plan on. So think more, what can you do for yourself? And then when the budget allows it, getting barter items, definitely for sure.
Yep. Great points. What do you got, Terry?
Well, I got stuff. All right.
Let's hear it.
One of the easiest preps you can do without spending any money is looking after your physical self. Get out and get some exercise. And if you got minions, as Pierre says, take your minions and go hiking. Put a little bag on their back and you're practicing a few bug out skills, and you can practice making shelters. Heck, I used to take my kids out when they were young, and nice day in the winter, and we'd go off with snowshoes or skis, and we'd head into the bush, and we'd bring hot dogs, and I get them to gather up grasses and different things along the way and get them to each start their own fire and cook their own hot dogs on it. And just make it fun, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money, and that's just a good way to get started. But a big mistake lots of us making, and I'm a porker myself, I got to admit, is we tend to neglect our physical self quite often, and we really got to get out there, and you can do it for very little. Now I gotta put a plug in for my good friend Chris at City Prepping. He's got a YouTube channel, and I got a link in there for Eric to post up. And he's got a free fitness course. A free fitness course. You can go and it doesn't cost you nothing. And he's got a program set up on how you can do some exercise and how you can watch your diet and and over a period of time, get yourself sorted out. Because, really, it's okay to have all this great gear, but if you have a coronary 5 miles down the road because you're not in shape, that's going to do you a lot of good. It's going to help somebody else out.
Yeah, you
right?
helped carry my gear 5 miles closer to me.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, right? So
Doing squats with the
look
pig in the
after
backyard
ourselves.
is not a bad thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we got to look after ourselves. So that's real important, and it doesn't cost a lot to do it. Go hiking, go camping, do things, and it's practicing with your gear at the same time, as well as getting yourself and your family out there and having some fun.
I can almost guarantee you everybody that listens to this, including all of us here and everything, could easily find something in their house to make up 30 pounds and putting in something that you could hold with a hand, right?
Mhm.
Put it in a bag with a strap, something. Guaranteed. Doesn't matter if you put 15 cans of food in it, a rump roast from your freezer. Like, there is no way you can't go in your backyard and find enough rocks to make 30 pounds.
Yep.
100%, right?
Easy.
Dollar store shopping.
Yep.
Dollar
30
store
cans,
shopping.
30 pounds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Walk home
Right,
with
so-
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it's good, and it doesn't cost a lot, and it's something we all need. We all need to do a little bit every day. Now, we've talked a lot about food preps, but and food prices have gone high these days, and one of the things is to buy what your family eats. It doesn't do you any good to buy a whole bunch of sardines if nobody in your family is going to eat them. And buy stuff that your family eats and stuff that you can consume on a regular basis, so your items aren't sitting on your shelf. You buy something and you use it, and you go to the store the next time you get it and it's on sale, and you replace it. And that's one of the bonuses about having a little bit of food inventory, is you don't have to buy anything for full price. You wait until it goes on sale. Yep. Shop your flyers. You really should shop your flyers, because there is where you're going to find your deals. And sometimes you'll find in the grocery store, if something's on sale, it's an even better deal than the dollar store. So you really got to watch your prices, and you got to know 100%. Your stuff when you're looking around. And that takes time. It takes time. Yeah. And if you do that, if you pick up a few items every week out of the sale stuff that's on sale, it doesn't take too long, and you've got yourself a bit of inventory, and then you got to start working that inventory and replacing it, and so that your stuff is always fresh. Make sure your new items go on the back and your old items come on the front. You got to do that proper stock rotation that the grocery stores are supposed to do. And sometimes we neglect that, and you end up with some stuff that's a little outdated. But I found that you can go a long ways past the best before date on many things, and they're still good.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Another one of my favorite tricks is the local grocery stores. Usually once a week, they mark down, and we know how expensive they are. And I've got that kind of figured out pretty good. That Wednesday or Thursday is the day, and I'll take a prowl around the meat department of the local grocery store, and sometimes 30, sometimes 50% off. I'll take it home. If you're not going to cook it right away, fire it in the freezer. It's just good, just as good. Fire it in the freezer, and then you can bring it out a year later, and it's still good, right? So, that's no sense paying full price, especially for beef. Like, holy crow, you got to take a mortgage out to buy beef. What else have I got?
So hold on before we go.
Okay.
Before I forget,
sorry.
hold on. Grocery stores, be careful. I don't know if this is still a thing, but it used to be. So you will sometimes find chicken breasts at a good price, and then seasoned chicken breasts at the store season level for a better price. Mm-hmm. They will do that at the point where food is on its way out and starting to get a smell, that they will make it a barbecue flavored one and wrap it up to try and hide that smell. So if you're going to do that with discount stuff or whatever, I would try and keep away from the store level seasoned meat, not the vacuum sealed, St. Hubert's ribs or Swiss Chalet ribs or whatever, but the stuff at the store level that they season and then repackage. Try and refrain from that as much as possible, just because you're kind of getting to, like, the chicken smells funny. We'll put a bunch of pepper on it so nobody notices that weird smell, and then they're going to go home and cook it, and then they didn't lose anything, but just in case, just a small little side thing. That's I don't know if it's still a thing or not, but
Yeah. You always got to look around. You got to watch. You got to, there's always tricks out there they can pull.
Yeah, good comment in the live chat here. Just saying, find a local beef farmer.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
We've
got a
don't
few
tell
around
them
here
and just
too.
go harvest it at night.
Yeah. One of the blessings of living out in farm country is we all know a few farmers, and it's always good to know your local farmer, right? You can get fresh eggs and this and that, and chicken and pork and beef and whatever you want.
And you might not get it at a discount. You might not get it at a discount, but I can almost guarantee you, if it's a good farmer that's all grass fed,
it'll be good stuff.
The quality of difference between the cheapest ground beef and steaks you buy will be something. But hey, go see him. I know many of them will sell you a whole cow, half cow, quarter cow, but they'll also sell you, you want 6 pounds of ground beef. So go make that, try and make that connection. Maybe you can trade off some labor for some of that, or he can point you in the right. Many other options, but guarantee you it's going to be one of the best meats you were ever going to eat compared to store bought.
And save a shekel doing it.
Yep.
The other thing I have is try and have a balance of goodies too. You got your shelf-stable stuff like pastas and so on. Again, pick those up at the dollar store. They're cheap there. Yeah. Or shop the flyers. Then have a balance of some canned goods, and then try and once you get going a bit and you got a few dollars ahead, and try and pick up a bit of long life freeze-dried foods, so that you have a few of those, just in case, because they're easy to pack out and take with you if you got to run. Now, there's typically a 25-year shelf life on freeze-dried foods, and they tend to be your most expensive choice. But there's places out there, like our preppers group, they usually have an occasional trip to the Latter-day Saints, the LDS Cannery in Brampton, and they're pretty reasonable stuff in there. And we go down there every once in a while, and anybody can go in. You don't have to be one of the Mormon gang. They get us all in. They like money too. And other than that, Bryden Solutions is a great place. I bought stuff from Bryden's. They make really good service, and they got some good stuff. Thrive Life is another one. We have several folks in our preppers group that are part of the Thrive Life thing, Tamara McKay and Tracy Bell. And if you come to our preppers meet or want to hook up on our annual preppers meet Facebook page, you can hook up with them there, and maybe you can pick up some Thrive Life stuff there. What else? Oh, to get off the food topic, spending a fortune on expensive gear. Like, do you really need the top of the line with all the bells and whistles and thingamajigs and doodads on it?
Yes.
Sometimes it's nice to have.
Do you need the $600 bag to sit in your living room?
Sometimes it's nice to have. You can afford it, but buy. My old philosophy has always been buy the best you can afford. Don't buy the cheapest crap, because cheapest crap is cheapest crap. Yeah. So
kind of right in the middle is a good spot to be.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to save up a little bit longer, and again, look for stuff to go on sale. Stuff always goes on sale.
I've had a. Go ahead, Terry. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. There's lots of places to look, and don't discount the secondhand store. Like, I've bought skis and snowshoes and really good top quality clothing items at secondhand stores over the years, especially when the kids were young. You could get all kinds of good stuff for a bargain, and they have all kinds, even camping gear and so on. And they always have a variety of secondhand books. And there's nothing like having a book, because if the electronics don't work, you can pick up your secondhand books and have good gear there.
Yep.
Yes. Don't always buy the highest, most expensive stuff. And like we'd said before, I think Pierre mentioned, watch reviews. If you think of something you like, do some reviews and see what works with other people, and check with your friends and network in your community of like-minded people, and see what's worked for them over the years. And sometimes they may be selling something off, because now I got lots of money and I can afford that $600 widget that I've been fantasizing about for years. And I'll let you have my middle of the road one for a good price. There's always that, right? There's always that.
Because sometimes Jeff, that $600 one is the exact same as a $200 one, but it's just got a different name on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
sometimes
Like,
they are.
sometimes you do pay for the name on the tag, right?
Exactly.
Like, I've had a $60 bag that allowed to a $200 bag, and I've had a $200 bag that allowed to, a $600 bag. Like,
Yeah.
that's where the reviews, the trial and error, where I'm like,
Yeah.
trust me, I'm one of the worst when I get something in my mind and I can go down some friggin' rabbit holes and spend
Oh
$3
my
grand.
God, so can I. I research
Yeah,
stuff to death.
Oh, I've researched for like 2 years prior to buying something, and like went with my gut instinct, and I'm like, it's worked out. But I'm like, thankfully the very inefficient or inexpensive stuff, I should say, that bit me in the ass. Thankfully, it wasn't the expensive stuff, but yeah, we're all guilty of going down way too many rabbit holes.
Oh yeah.
Way too often.
Try and get your gear that it's multi-purpose gear. A lot of prepping gear can be used for hunting, can be used for fishing, can be used for camping, can be used for backpacking, canoeing.
Zombies.
Yeah, zombies.
Yep.
Yeah, zombies.
Like you can get multi-purpose
Sharknadoes.
stuff, and that way you get to use your gear and see how it works, and so that when you're in a pinch and you have to do something in a hurry, you're not sitting out there. How the hell does this bloody tent go together? I ain't bought this thing 20 years ago and I never set it up yet. And of course, you always lose the instructions, right?
Yep.
Of course.
And I mean,
Yep.
I want to
use
say
Use it.
almost everybody is within a 2-hour drive of somewhere they can go camping for free. Crown
Yes.
land.
Yep.
Just let's say you even wake up in the morning, have your coffee, have your necessities at home, pre-pack a bag, drive out somewhere, pitch a tent, live off your supplies and how to cook, building a fire or sterno cans for your jet boil, and don't come back for supper the following day.
Mm-hmm.
Go try your stuff. Say, hey, what worked, what didn't? What should I couldn't build a fire to save my life. I had to use the jet boil. Then, build a fire in your neighbor's yard in case it gets out of hand and it's not your property.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
I don't recommend that. But being able to test something, like I can almost guarantee you we have what's 2 hours of gas there and back in any vehicle. We have gone out for supper and spent more money
Yes.
as a family.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, you can.
Right?
You can do stuff on the cheap
Oh, absolutely.
and have
Yeah.
fun doing it and learn some skills and use your gear and practice.
Yeah.
Heck, there's times we've gone out. I live like right across the road from QE Wildlands Provincial Park, and it's a wilderness park. There's nothing. It's nothing there. Nothing. And we've gone in there on weekends with nothing. Just a tarp and a few things, and we got to catch our food and so on. And we've played those silly games, and it's a good exercise. It's a good exercise to do and have some fun while you're doing it.
You'd be
With a
surprised
bunch
how
of
much
guys.
the minions in the house will remember those compared to
Oh,
some YouTube
they'll
videos.
never forget.
Yep.
Never
Yeah.
forget it.
No.
Yeah, those are the memories. Those things are valuable, right? And there'll be less they'll take with them for the rest of their lives. And
Yep.
if they find themselves on a spot, it's aha! I remember we did this when we were kids.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the stuff that you want to do.
Joel in the live chat's got a good point. Keep an eye on the Costco clearance. Says he just picked up some collapsible shovels for the vehicles.
Yep.
Good point. Again, just shop on those deals, right?
Nice.
Shopping deals all the time. Every place
So-
has them, right? Canadian
Especially
Tire
Costco,
has stuff regularly. Cabela's
Yeah.
put stuff on. Bass Pro puts stuff on. Tremblay's, different sports stores around, they put stuff on. So.
Best advice for Canadian Tire: if you see something you like, just wait 2 weeks. It'll be on sale. It goes on sale like 3-4 times
Yeah.
a year, right? Like,
It's true.
unless it's a dire thing that you absolutely need. But if it's something you're planning on prepping and how everything is, you feel confident that you could probably wait a month for it. 100%, it's going to be on sale.
Yeah.
Canadian Tire is phenomenal for that. They
Always
have-
going to be on sale.
always
Oh, yeah.
always on sale stuff. Like I swear they do like quarters of their stuff.
Mhm.
Every quarter,
It's
everything
true.
goes on sale in this
Yep.
section, and that's
You can see stuff go all the time.
Yeah.
And I picked up stuff there that they've discontinued too. Some good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff for hunting and so
100%.
on. Yeah.
Kyle in the live chat has a really good tip that we should probably all be aware of, because we'll probably see these advertisements from time to time. It says, whatever you do, don't buy the freeze-dried alpaca meat from Ian. It's a scam. It tasted like possum.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Bad actor, that Ian.
yeah. Anything that Ian offers up, should probably avoid it, especially
Unless-
like Kyle says, the freeze-dried alpaca meat.
Unless it's a CGN deal. I hear he's pretty good with those.
He hasn't had many of those the last little while either, though. I don't know. I think he's slipping on us.
Well, he might be playing possum. You never know. Right? He might just be playing dead.
Oh, that was
This is true. This is true.
I guess the last thing I want to add in here is, some folks have been around for a long time. Like I'm ancient, as you can tell by the hair, but there's a lot of folks that are new to the prepping game and just trying to get started and trying to figure out where to go and what to do and how to do things. Again, I'm going to put another plug in for Chris at City Prepping. He's got a prepper's roadmap program. It's absolutely free. He's got a lot of free downloads, a lot of free information on his and a lot of good items on his YouTube channel. Sign up to his email, and there's always some good stuff. I think he's great. He's one of the most level-headed fellas out there. He's not one of those, doom and gloom, wild. He has a little bit of news on once in a while, but who doesn't watch that? But for the most part, he's not a loony. He's really good. So I'd like to put a plug in for him and go check him out. He's got stuff for people at all levels.
I've watched a few of his videos ever since you had mentioned, Terry, a while back, the exercise one. And I've watched a few. I haven't watched any of those ones yet, but I've watched a few other things that piqued my interest. And I'll agree with you. He does very good research. He's very level-headed. Doesn't, hey, you need to get this now or it's going to be the end. No, this is what it is. And he'll tell you if he's affiliated with somebody or not.
Yes.
He has brand name stuff on there, and he'll tell you, this XYZ knife, which I have no affiliation at all. I just have one. It works great. Da 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 da. Yeah, very good guy.
Yeah, before we keep going, Mel brought up a good one. So we have dehydrators. We bought the Cadillac of dehydrators, but we did start. It's not as shelf stable as freeze dried, but we did. We were looking at, so we bought a meat grinder as well. Crazy good deal. I think it was $60 for the dehydrator and $60 for the meat grinder. Meat grinder also came with pepperette and sausage stuffer. So I'm like, if you go hunting, fishing, whatever, you can make your own pepperoni sticks, make your own jerky. You can most likely buy chunks of meat, where the butcher just cuts his giant slab off. You go home, grind it up, make your own pepperettes, make your own jerky, figure out how to make your own spices, your own dehydrated trail mix, all that stuff. Obviously once you're past everything, but like looking for those deals, we bought ours at Cabela's. It was a 5-tray dehydrator, and it's like the cheapest meat grinder. But I mean, we've had it for 5 years. I've made pepperettes, sausages. I grab my meat. You just take your time with it. It's obviously not an industrial one that'll do like 800 pounds a minute. But you take your time with it. You get what you pay for. Sometimes you kind of need to take some time with certain things and everything. If you want to start doing that, start even making your own. If you know someone that's got the food dehydrator, or someone that has spent the money to get a freeze dryer, I know that's eventually something we want to get, even though they cost an arm and a leg. Then you can put your finger in all those controls, make our own spices, all those things. It's, when you get those preps, buying something for $500 and being able to save yourself $6,000, 2 years from now, might not be something you want to do right off the get-go, but looking at options like that, like, if you're a big fan of pepperettes, well, buying a meat grinder and a sausage stuffer probably going to save you thousands compared to buying, pepperettes at the gas station. Is what, $10 for a small bag of beef jerky.
Big bucks.
You don't even need that. You just need an oven and like a good knife and like patience, and you can make it in your oven for way less. So all those options. If you can, it takes time. You can't go walk around the mall and go window shopping. You need to be home for 4 hours or 5 hours to, cut up some steak or a good rump roast and make jerky at home. That will make yourself save yourself hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, good stuff. Some folks make really good jerky.
Oh yeah, and I mean the jerky is just whatever you spice it with. The cooking part, put it in your oven at like 250 for 6 hours. Like, put the spices and your rub and your own way, right? You can only buy certain flavors at the store, and you're like, you know what? No, I want a maple mustard one. Well, make your own maple mustard or your maple buffalo, right?
I was going to say.
Yeah, right. And yeah, you can do whatever flavor you like. You're a giant fan of something, and everybody thinks you're weird. You want a Cheese Whiz peanut butter one. You can make it at home.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't cost much. Wait for that sale that at the store, like Terry mentioned. Buy yourself a little roast. Go home, slice it up. You want to try different flavors. Worst comes to worst, it's $10 you're willing to part with, and a few hours of experiment, and you screwed up 7 recipes, but these 2 were really good. The next time, split it up. Do the 2 recipes you liked, and yeah, you can't go wrong.
True.
Something else we really never touched on yet is foraging. Foraging, that's free. And there's lots of people that offer wild edible walks and wild edible classes that you can jump in on. I know on our annual Preppers Meet Facebook page, we got Karen Stevenson. She does an excellent one, and she has different walks around the community, around her areas, in southern Ontario where she lives. She does them, and she puts them on there when she's going to have stuff. You can hook up to her website. Well, too bad I didn't have her link. I don't have her link, but she's got a YouTube channel, and she's got over 300 videos on different wild edibles and how you can make different foods out of them. And that's all free stuff. You can't beat the price of that. And it's a good skill. Yeah.
Also, word of advice: if you're foraging, wait for everybody in the house to leave. It just makes it a lot easier, less confrontational.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot less confrontation.
No doubt. That's also a fun thing you can take the minions with and get them interested in too.
True.
Again, it's fun for them, and they love it.
Wild garlic season's coming up. Wild blueberry season's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Wild raspberry. Like we use garlic on almost every friggin' recipe we use, right? Like if we're cooking meat, like there's garlic in it. Like figure out how to go get it. Get them some rubber boots so the snakes don't bite.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
where you go.
Good. That's good. Good gets them outside, and you're getting some exercise, and you're up in your knowledge, and you're teaching your kids something, and you're having some family fun together all at the same time. So you're multitasking like 4 or 5 things. Can't beat that.
Checking all the boxes.
Checking all the boxes, right?
And the nice thing is, you have the minions with you, so you can get them to test the food. And if it goes haywire, you can drive them to the hospital compared to yourself.
Very important. Very important.
And it just got dark real quick.
Right? Like, but
But that's a good point. Yeah. I see where you're going with that. But
yeah, like if you're gonna try something new, maybe try it in a safer environment. Not 6 hours away from a hospital. Bring something.
Or try it with somebody that knows what they're doing and gain that knowledge from said individual first.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you have to peoples and.
I'd rather peoples with them than peoples with the doctors and nurses and all that kind of stuff.
You're practicing your first aid skills too, right? That's something else you got to practice, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm not wrong.
Again, that's another skill you can get reasonably cheap. There's St. John Ambulance courses everywhere. Go out and take those courses and go out and practice.
You could probably get enough information and not have the card.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to take anybody's appendix out or do a tracheotomy on anybody, but to treat how to take, treat a wound, how to prevent infection, you can find all that information for free. You might not get the card saying I'm first aid certified, but you can easily get all that information, buy your supplies. Actually, going back to dollar store, you would be surprised the first aid products you can get there.
Oh yes,
they got stuff.
Band-aids, isopropyl,
ice packs,
bandage wraps. You can get the cold or hot compress bandages.
Yep.
You can buy the ice packs that you smack and shake it up and it gets cold. All those things for way cheaper than going to.
Just don't buy your tourniquets there.
Yeah,
Ooh,
no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Certain medical. I should clarify. Certain medical supplies. Yes, 100%. You can get there. But yeah, that's a giant thing that nobody will think of. Like when
It's true.
you're cutting your wild garlic and your wild blueberries to make a weird sauce, and you cut your finger. You
Yeah.
know, getting those
Yep.
supplies. Dollar store is definitely one that first aid supplies is might not be the best band-aids, but at least it's a band-aid, and then you can save
Yep.
up to get the real good ones.
Yeah.
Cold compress, gauze, all that stuff. Gauze is gauze at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, best bang for your buck. They're probably
Yep.
one of the best.
And take the darn stuff with you when you go out.
Yes.
Yes.
Not doing you any good sitting back in the car, right?
Nope.
No, it is
I'm
not.
bad. I'm bad for that. That's one of my things. Yeah. Oh, I got it, but it's in the car, and that's 6 miles back. Right.
And Mel mentioned, I think, yeah, she ordered it. I know that for a fact. But there's a card game where you can play cards, but it also has
Mhm.
edible plants, medicinal
I got
plants.
them.
Yeah,
I got that
and
deck of cards. Yes.
so it's a deck of cards you can throw in your bag, and if something happens, you're walking around, you can fish through it. You can also play like crazy eights and all that stuff when you're at the camp. But if you want to walk around, it might not be 1,000% accurate, but you could probably get 98 way more than me feeding the minions and seeing if they get sick.
Mhm.
Way better than that. But yeah, uses, what to do if you ate the wrong one. Might have some things that you could do, like, hey, you need to go see a doctor, or like, just drink some water, or take some Tylenol or Tums and all those things. So yeah, you can also get those fairly inexpensive. I believe we got those on Amazon for fairly cheap. Yeah, it's not a bad thing, and also that goes against your library, something you can read on.
Yep.
And you can play strip poker when the kids go to bed.
Yeah. I picked some reasonably priced first aid stuff up off of that doggone Temu of late. I thought, I'm going to look around and see what's on there, and they got all kinds of crap too. And again,
No tourniquets.
some of it's junk. Be careful what you buy.
Yeah.
But they had
yeah.
some reasonably priced first aids. First aid stuff there too.
Temu, Amazon.
It's Amazon. Amazon's got it. Yeah, it's out there. You can get it without spending $1 million.
Yeah, we've both gotten those horse bandages or whatever. They're the self-adhesive tensor bandages. You can buy like a $40 on Amazon for like $30. I'm like, they're cheap, no clips, no nothing. They're fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and they've saved many scenarios. I'm like, they're small, efficient. I have one in my bag. I have one in my truck. My daughter has one in her bag when she goes to and from school. She's got a little first aid kit. She's all interested. So here's like 3 bandages, a bunch of Band-Aids and that. And I'm like, whether she knows what to do with it or not, or someone needs it because they didn't come prepared. It's a small thing. It costs nothing. Even if you use it, buy the pack. And even if you have to show your little minions or people that come over, they want to learn how to put it on, open up a pack and use it as a reusable training tool, right? The adhesive's no good anymore or whatever. It's just one of those things where it's just like, look, this is going to stick to itself, but this is how you use it. And it's falling apart, but like, this is the purpose of it. Then you're not constantly using something. Training tools like that is another fantastic idea.
Yes. There's some good stuff out there.
Great points.
Again, look around,
Absolutely.
do your research.
100%. Any last minute thoughts from the panelists?
I think we
Crickets.
covered most
Not
things.
that I can think of at the moment.
Not without
we're
getting
awesome.
on another list. I'm good.
So some good points to kind of get you thinking, get you putting those
Kyle,
lists together, getting a little bit more frugal with your purchases.
Kyle
Go
had a
ahead.
good thing in the live chat there.
He says, if only there was a preparedness supply company out there to find these supplies.
Where do we know of one?
Do I have a podcast for you?
Little shameless self-promotion, perhaps. You could check out my preparedness little company there, Rapid Survival, at rapidsurvival.com if you would like. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to help support the show, head on over there. I got a few cool things.
Eric's
I don't
got
have $600 bags, but
no. Eric's got
check
stuff.
that out. I got some stuff. Yeah.
You got stuff.
All right. With that, let's move into the podcast challenge, shall we? So for this episode, podcast challenge, just review your preps, see where you can maybe save a few bucks, and just shop around.
Mm-hmm.
So upcoming events, Terry.
Okay, so we've been mentioning this. We have the annual Preppers Meet, the 10th anniversary annual Preppers Meet, this July 11th to the 14th, where you can come and you can meet all these people that can teach a little bit about first aid. And you can learn some skills and meet some good people and go for a wild edibles walk with Garen Stevenson and do some good stuff like that and network in beautiful downtown Desborough, Ontario. And early bird tickets are still available. So,
I believe they're $100 a pop.
I want to see it. Right now, they're $100, and that's for 3 days, 3 full days, because we'll start at 9 o'clock in the morning and we'll go till 10 o'clock at night. And you're just learn all day long. And there's more stuff than you can take in. It's you'll get your money's worth. It's cheap camping, if nothing else. It's cheap camping, and the nicest people are there. Eric's there.
If I'm not driving, can I drink from 9 to 10?
Yeah, you can drink. There's you can have the odd beverage.
Okay, I'm way more intrigued now.
As long as you behave, we don't have any misbehaving.
I make no promises.
Nope.
We got
misbehaving is looked after very quickly.
Yeah, we got police there. Okay. They look after people that have been misbehaved. So come on, it's a good weekend.
Nice.
It is a fantastic event. I've been going for years. Lots of good people willing to share their knowledge with you, and they want to learn from you too. So come prepared with something to share as well. Even if you're new, right, you will have something that you can share with everybody else, and it's just a very welcoming environment. Lots of people that give out some good information and opportunities for everybody to share knowledge, gain knowledge, and just have some fun. So make sure to check it out. All right. So we've got no weather blurb because Jeff decided to not show up tonight because he's a jerk. I guess him and Ian are hanging out, hacking the RCMP and taking down AT&T. I'm sure it was the two of them that were doing that. So
makes sense.
Yep. So we'll take our little poster down here, and I'll say with that, I'll bring episode number 231 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast to an end. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or of course your favorite podcast app. I'm pretty sure we're out on all of them now. Please submit a review wherever you do listen to us. It does help other people find us and does the whole algorithm thing. And we do record the shows live on YouTube, Facebook if you have to be there. If you want an early peek at the shows, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Canadian Prepper Podcast. Click the notifications tab. That will give you alerts when we go live. And we'll move into where can everybody find you, Brad?
I can be reached at batbradcpp@gmail.com, and I'm also on the Discord.
And Pierre?
Off the wall customizing. I think we're on socialist medias. If not, off the wall customizing at Gmail. Technically, I'm on Discord, but I don't check it. Or you can find me Monday nights talking about why the government should make you prepare more on the other CPP, Canadian Patriot podcast, on Monday nights on YouTubes at 9 o'clock.
And me, you can find me on the annual Preppers Meet Facebook page. So I encourage you, if you're on the Facebook tool, go and hook up. And you can email me at just my name, Terry L. Blackmore at hotmail.com. And you might be able to find me through the annual preppersmeet.com website. They got a contact, or not a contact list, but a questions list. I might get the question. Somebody else might get it. But yeah, you can ask questions there. Anything you might want to learn about the Preppers Meet. And come on down.
Awesome. Check out Rapid Survival, rapidsurvival.com. I will be there on the live chat. You can also email me at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. So thanks for joining us. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe,
and keep learning frugally.
As we wrap up another insightful episode of the Canadian Prepper Podcast, we want to extend our gratitude to our listeners for joining us on this journey of preparedness. Remember, the key to survival is knowledge and readiness. If you want to support the show and engage with our community further, consider signing up for our Patreon and joining our thriving community on Discord. Links are in the description. If you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. This is the Canadian Prepper Podcast, signing off. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe, and keep learning.